Welcome to another episode of the Javier and Mo Show. I'm here with the coach, Javier Mendez. Hi, coach.
Hi, Mo.
How are you?
I feel fantastic having this microphone in front of me like this. It's like I want to take a bite out of it. And it's like, you, Mr. Perfectionist, I want to see clarity and hear clarity. If you guys, this is what you want to see us like this, okay, please respond so Mo gets his way and I don't get my way. And I'll continue to do this. Otherwise, if you guys are cool without this thing being in like there or here, then it's cool. But let me know.
But coach, they've already commented on, I've seen comments on YouTube. They're loving the quality. They're loving the coach. Cameras right on his face, perfect quality mic. They're loving it, coach. They love it.
I haven't seen the comments, so I don't know.
We have good news.
What do you got?
We've got some people that they're giving away 2 tickets to UFC Abu Dhabi.
Oh, yeah. Yusuf's group. Sharp Travel. Sharp, SHARP Travel on Instagram.
Yeah, sharp_travel. They're just giving a gift and we're passing it through. But in order for you guys to win, what you have to do is very simple. You have to subscribe to YouTube. You have to follow us on Instagram and Twitter, X. So take a screenshot of those, send it as a DM to our Instagram, and then you're going to get enlisted to win a ticket with a stay in Abu Dhabi. So it's a ticket with a hotel stay. We're giving away 2 tickets. That's amazing.
But isn't there going to be something they have to do? I mean, is it just them signing up and our Instagram and then the YouTube? Don't they have to come up with something cool that we can pick who the winners are? I mean, we got to work on that, right? They give us ideas. Maybe you guys can give us ideas how to improve on the show or what topics to speak about or anything of that nature. I mean, it can't be something more than that.
I mean, take it easy on them, coach. Take it easy.
What? Easy on them. I want, hey, improve our show. What can you guys do to help us make our show better? Then that would be fantastic.
You have another gift for the listeners, which is a T-shirt, Father's Plan, signed by you and Habib. So that's going to be announced next episode, how to win that. And that's a good idea. They have to do something.
They have to do something.
Give us a cool idea and you're going to win that T-shirt.
You know how hard it is for me to put my horrible signature on anything? It's like I got the worst signature on earth. You can't even identify. If I sign 6 shirts, I guarantee you all 6 shirts will look different. They won't look the same. My signature is different every single time. It's like I'm a chameleon with signatures. Incredible. Everybody else's looks the same except mine.
I mean, I'm sure it looks nice. You're being harsh on yourself.
No, I'm not being harsh. I'm being truthful. It does.
I mean, it's such an amazing thing. Imagine like having that T-shirt. I mean, I really want one. I'm really looking forward for.
Well, what are you gonna do for it?
I'm just gonna have it.
No, what are you gonna do for the shirt? I mean, it's like everybody else got to do something. You just think you're just gonna get one? No, what are you gonna do for it?
I asked you nicely before the show, and you're like, "Sure, Mo, I'll give you one."
Yeah, and now you're on the spot. What are you gonna do for it, Mo?
What would you like?
I don't know. How much money you have?
Oh no.
Yeah, you got money?
Why can't I be treated same as the fans?
Because you're not a fan.
Oh no,
they're different. You're a co-host, so co-host needs to pay more. Fans, no. You, yes. I don't know. What do you think? What's it worth to you?
It's priceless, coach.
Okay, priceless, and then we'll take a lot of money. We like money.
They're gonna be on the website. We're gonna make a website that people can buy the T-shirts from. This is gonna be the merch. What do you think? We already spoke about having our logo.
Could do that. Yeah.
So I'm saying, in order for everyone to have it, because right now you might be the lucky one to win it, but you might not get lucky to win. But what if you really want it?
Then you have to buy it.
Yeah. So
there's not many of them, but we got at least 100 something of them. But you know, it's gonna take a while to get Habib to sign all. You can get me to sign them all in a couple of weeks. But
yeah,
a couple of weeks here. That
yeah.
Couple of weeks.
I think that's only fair for the fans to or no. I mean, you might try to win. That's not always the case. But if you have your credit card ready, boom, you got it.
Boom. Okay. Boom.
I'm the first one to buy it since I'm not gonna get it, so I have to buy it. So I will have to buy it.
No problem. You have to buy it.
So I'm just gonna create the website for me to buy it, and for those who want to buy it.
We would love that.
Yeah.
For you to buy it.
All right, coach. let's jump straight to it. People are asking about the Islam fight, and they want to know how much are you involved in the matchmaking?
Since 2012, I've been involved exactly, absolutely 0%. Zero. Absolutely, positively 0% in regards to any Habib's crew from when he was doing back then with his father and whoever manager he had to when Ali came on board. I had zero to do with any of that. I just wait for them to tell me what's going on and we prepare for whoever we have in front of us. I never even really asked. Only thing I ask is, when are we going? That's pretty much it. But nothing's changed. I mean, I don't ever say anything that I don't know. And also don't give anything out until the UFC announces anything, because we've been in situations where people will say something, right? They'll go, oh, so-and-so, even Habib's camp, they'll say something that's not true. So I found very, very safe to not say anything until the UFC announces something. Even if someone tells me this is going on, I won't say it, because it's not 100% true to one of the other side says it. And I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Umar calls me up one time and says, Coach, I'm fighting Yadong. And I go, oh, okay, all right. So yes, Coach, we're getting ready, but blah, blah, blah. I'm going to fight in December. And I'm like, okay, got it, great. Okay, but the problem was someone forgot to tell Yadong that he was fighting Umar in December. And Yadong said no, it would work better for him at a later date. But it didn't work out for Umar at that particular time. So what I'm getting at is, even my side will say something and they announced it.
But somebody got injured, I think, right?
No, it was no injuries. It's just Yadong wasn't ready for that particular time. He wanted it another time, and he never agreed to go to that particular time that Umar agreed on. So that was the issue. There was no injuries involved. There was no agreement on both sides, only one side. So that's the thing. We jumped the gun, and I find it better for me not to jump the gun, even if someone's telling me this is what's going on. So shut up. Better to shut up and wait for the UFC to announce what's going on. Then I'll say something. So then anybody wants to ask me questions in regard to something the UFC has not announced, forget about it. I'm going to just, even if I know, I'm not going to tell you, because just because I know, I might know from one individual. I don't know from both individuals, and it just leaves people crazy because they go, Coach said this, Coach said that. And nope. I made that mistake one time, and it got me in trouble. It got me in trouble, and it was a UFC event, and basically one of the reporters asked me, what do I think about this particular fight and this weight, and do I think it's a good match, that type of thing. And I'm like, well, blah blah blah. I started saying the thing, and then the matchmaker got pissed at me. They told the manager, what the hell is Coach doing? We didn't know, you haven't even done that match. I'm going, well, how the hell am I supposed to know? The damn reporter is the one telling me what I think about this match. So I'm assuming the match is made, right? So I'm like, I didn't think anything was wrong with that, but the match wasn't made, And so me blurting basically got me in little hot water. So I learned, shut up.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Islam or any of my guys, and the UFC has not announced it, I don't want to announce it. I don't even want to talk about it, because it's like useless for me to talk about something that's not there. Do I want to talk about, what type of fighters that are potentially good in Tyson? Yeah, sure. Gagey, any of those Oliveras and that Topura and those guys, whatever, but I don't know anything about who's going to fight who, but they're all in the running when it comes to fight. Is it welterweight? Is it lightweight? I don't know. And for me to say, oh, it's welterweight, oh, it's lightweight, oh, or this or that, I don't know, and I won't, and if I did know, then it'd be foolish for me to say something unless the UFC announces it.
You've said something at the beginning, is you said you're not involved at all when it comes to matchmaking. You don't advise the manager or your students where to go next.
In Habib's case, remember I said Habib's case, and because in my opinion, and this is my opinion, they have the best manager in the business, and he cares so much about his fighters, and especially the Dagestani guys. He so cares about all of them. But this is a great manager. He knows what he's doing. I don't need to be stepping myself into his business. He knows what he's doing. He's done a great job so far. I haven't seen him do anything that I thought was foolish. So this is a great manager. So let him do his job.
Right. Thank you. I mean, everybody's waiting to know that this it's not clear yet, and there hasn't been anything announced. So until there is something announced, there is nothing to say.
There's nothing to say. I mean, we can all make up whatever we want to say. We can all say this, we can all say that. And some people are leading correct, some people are not. Like, let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. You know, someone says, oh, it says on the Ariel Helwani show, he confirmed that the fight's going to happen between this and that. And you know, I go, oh, well, Ariel, how does Ariel get all this damn information? Has he got like a spy? I know he's got like great people that tell him things, because in the past, Ariel would call me. Like, let me give you an example about Ariel Helwani, how he has moles everywhere. You know, this guy's unbelievable. One day, Cain Velasquez, we brought in this new guy into the gym, and we didn't know who this guy is. He was a tough wrestler type guy, but trying to prove something. So the guy was rolling around with Cain on the wall, and, you know, I'm not paying attention, because in grappling days, I'm not whatever, you know, and I mostly focus on the sparring and the strategies, et cetera, et cetera. That's what I've always done. But I'm watching this thing a little bit, and the guy rolling with Cain was going really, really hard. Cain wasn't going so hard, but the other guy was going really hard, trying to prove a point. Next thing you know, I hear this. The next thing you know, I go, oh no, Cain's knee went kaboom. And no more than 2 hours, I'm talking 2 hours after this happened, 2 hours, I get a call from Ariel Helwani. Hi, coach, what's going on? Oh, nothing, Ariel, how you doing? He goes, oh, just calling, just seeing how things are going. I'm like, things are good. He goes, anything happened in the gym today? And I'm like, no, nothing's going on. And in my mind, I'm going, how the hell does he know what the hell is going on here? He's like, oh, yeah, nothing's gone in the gym. I go, no, things went, no, nothing, no. He's so smart. This guy's a genius at what he does. That's why he's always picked as number one, because, you know, he goes way and above to report things, and he's really good at it, you know. And I was like trying to figure, who's his damn mole? And I asked him one time, who's your mole? And he goes, I'm not allowed to say.
So someone inside the gym.
There has to be someone in the inside. Who it is, I don't know. But yes, he has inside information from some people. I don't know if he still does, but back then he sure as hell did. You know, because there's no way in hell that he would know that Cain Velasquez ruined his knee,
obviously,
2 hours after it happened. No way. Someone from my gym told somebody, then that somebody, whether it be a UFC official or whether it be one of my fighters or one of people that was just happened to be in my gym, I don't know. Yes. All I know is that individual reported to Ariel that something went on in that gym, and Ariel wanted to get confirmation for me, you know, obviously first leaking out the news, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, those are the type of things that I'm talking about that get you in trouble, you know, and I learned on, shut the hell up, you know, until it's officially announced. There's no point, you know, there's no point.
But can you blame somebody? We don't have to say Ariel personally, but can you blame somebody like Ariel, like a journalist? I mean, that's what journalists usually do, is they have eyes and ears everywhere to get news.
No, that's their job. That's their job.
Yeah,
that's their job. I get it. So he's getting the scoop first and he's verifying it. So he was calling me to verify it. So he wasn't going to report it unless I verified it. So obviously, and he couldn't verify his mole. So
he called the source.
So he can't call. So he does a great job. I'm not saying he doesn't do a great job. What I'm saying is, he has a mole, or he used to have a mole, and it was a good one, you know, because it was in my damn gym, or it was tied to somebody in my gym, spoke to somebody that's in the UFC, or someone related to somebody.
Yeah,
it was a mole for him, and I don't know who it was, but Ariel is fantastic. He really is, and it sucks because there's things he does that people don't like, you know, so it goes against him too. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
There's some things you shouldn't say, and he has said it, and it cost him. But he's a good journalist.
I mean, you gotta give him that. Yes, he does stir up the water a lot, but he's also a good journalist. You can't take away.
No, you can't.
Can't take away from him.
I cannot take. I like him. You know.
Yeah,
I like him. He's a good guy.
Yeah. But when it comes to commercial decisions, of course, everyone should keep their mouth shut. Because there's money on the table, there's negotiations. I mean, even if you're a journalist and somebody tells you do not announce something, you shouldn't announce it. It affects money, and when it comes to money, you should really be careful.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you because it's like if everybody would just let the organization, or you get confirmation from both sides that signed,
Yeah.
then do that. But in this case, it's always the UFC that seems to leak out the information that no one should be knowing. And it's always confirmed best when the UFC does it. It's so who cares if you are the first one to announce it? You announce it, you announce it. The UFC announces it, you announce it right after. It's still big news. So to me, you don't need to beat everybody to the punch. Let them do their job.
Yeah.
That's my feeling. And it makes my job much easier than I'm not talking hearsay stuff. So I found just shut up, just shut up. Even if I know, just shut up because
Yeah.
it gets you in trouble. In this case, like I said, in Umar's situation, their side, not UFC side, Umar's side, somebody on his side leaked the information out and saying there was a confirmed fight when it wasn't because, Yang Sedong's side did not confirm it. So I find from those type of situations, it's stupid for me to, give my opinion of what I heard from one person. So unless you get both sides, there is none. Just like in a court of law, right? You got the guy on your side who's the convicted killer, or not convicted, the alleged killer, and then you got the defense. So you got the prosecutor going out there, and next thing you know, you're like, oh, he did it. Oh no, for sure, he's done. So everybody's saying he's done. But then the defender comes out there and defends the killer, not the killer, the alleged individual, and you go, no, there's no way he did it because he wasn't here. So until you know both facts, it's kind of like the verdict shouldn't come out.
You're right. It's just it's interesting topics, and that's why people would maybe make up rumors or try to sound like they know something that the others don't, so they can seem that they're connected and they're credible. And that's why you see a lot of fake news.
Yeah, but the fake news is good for them because they get a lot. I mean, some people go based on what they get in the YouTube, and then it rises their numbers up, et cetera, And
yeah. What's your thoughts of the news that came out, since we can talk about it? It's official. Dustin and Max Holloway 3.
Well, that's, it's a very entertaining fight, and it's a good fight for Dustin to go out on his high horse, because it's a fight he's won twice already. So you alluded to that fact. I didn't know if they were 1-1, and David, you had mentioned to me that no, it was 2-0 for Dustin. So the likelihood of going 3-0 is in Dustin's favor. So that's a good walk-off fight for him. So good for him and for Dustin. I mean, for Max, it's kind of hard. Max win, Max loses. He's already become a superstar. So
is Dustin.
Yeah, both. But what I'm saying, it's the winner on this situation could be Dustin again, and it's not going to hurt Max's star power too much. Unless he gets.
You don't think really 2 losses in a row would hurt him?
It can, yes. I can't say they don't hurt, but I'm just saying he's still a star.
Yeah. But then we know he's a star, but is Max going to be a next champion? Does he still have championship qualities in him, or is he slowing down? Is the fame getting into him? Is the money getting into him that he's no longer interested? I mean, now he's in lightweight. If he wins, then he's showing himself to be honestly the number 1 contender. Why not? Is Max Holloway. It's interesting. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, his last fight as a featherweight didn't quite go his way, and that person is up going to lightweight, so I don't.
But remember, that person who won him, there's a lot of people talking about him, that he should get a title shot and he should be getting a title shot at the lightweight. Why not? Because remember, Max Holloway won Justin Gaethje, then he lost to Ilya. Now, if he wins Dustin, he's like, all right, why not? It's Max Holloway. You gotta give it. Whatever, he's a star. You got to give it to him.
Give him that. They give him that. But for me, it's like I said, I don't know who they're going to give it to. And I don't know, who's deserving in it. I don't know who the fans want to see. We know.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who the fans want. But I don't know in the long run. There's always things behind the scenes that are being worked on that we know nothing about.
Of course.
So for me to start talking about something I know nothing about is crazy. And even if, like I said, even if I did know, it's stupid because it's not confirmed. No matter what I know, it's not confirmed. The UFC announces it's confirmed. So then it's just talk.
Yeah. What a great time to be a UFC fan. I mean, it's a movie, some of these things. Like, for example, when Max Holloway made his UFC debut against Dustin Poirier, then they faced each other for the lightweight title. And now they're facing each other one more time for the BMF title and for Dustin's retirement. I mean, that's a movie. That's, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
It is, and it's for the BMF title. I didn't know that. Who does Max hold? Does Dustin hold it?
No,
BMF?
Max Holloway.
Max Holloway steals the BMF title.
Remember, he won it from Justin Gaethje. Yes.
Oh, I didn't.
Remember, we knocked out Justin Gaethje the last second.
That's the only reason why I didn't pay attention, because BMF title to me is
it's a gimmick. It's a gimmick, but
it's not the best of the best. I mean.
But
I don't know.
But come on, like these.
It's just a fight. It's a fight. It's a great fight.
It's a great fight, and whoever is competing for the BMF title shows that.
But how many fighters want to win that title? Is what I'm saying. They're like, I can't get the UFC title, so okay, I'll get the BMF title. But how many fighters are growing up thinking or aspiring to be the BMF title? The ones that don't get the lightweight or the heavyweight or whatever weight division is the ones that might go, well, let me get the BMF title then, because that's something. But it really is not revered as anything really like, oh, there's the BMF title. It's like, so, he's just good fighter, fun.
Yeah.
He's not the champ,
Yeah, it's not. It just shows that fighter is willing to get his hands dirty. You know what I mean? It's like always a nice fight. There's always a knockout. It's bloody. I mean, these fighters are not there to win by points. They're there to make a show.
Yeah, and that part I get because when you talk about Gaethje, when you talk about Holloway, and you talk about their fight, that was one of those. That was one of those fights.
Yeah.
Gaethje and Holloway.
Yeah,
that was a fight.
Crazy 5 rounds. Yeah.
That was one of those fight for the ages, So yeah, that proved the BMF title. Sorry, but I still, in my mind, as a coach, I'm not looking to train my fighter to be the BMF champion. That's not, in your credentials. Oh, he had the BMF champion.
Yeah.
For me, I'm like, okay, what does that really mean for me? I understand for the fighter, but me as a coach, I'm not sure that's a title I want.
I get it. I completely get it, and you're right. I'm just saying, for example, I'm a big Dustin's fan, and to see him walk out, because he was always the uncrowned champ. You know what I mean? He was always trying to get there, but he gets there and he doesn't win it. So for me to see him retiring with a BMF belt is just, it's like it sums up his career. He was always a BMF.
Yeah, but he was never the champ.
Yeah, but he was that guy.
I understand that.
You don't have to be the champ to be loved and respected.
No, that you don't. You don't ever need to be the champ to be loved and respected. But for me, it's I don't know. I just have a thing about interim titles and BMF titles. Is like it's interim titles are what? What is an interim title? It's a number one contendership.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like
it's another gimmick.
Yeah. What's Tom Aspinall? He's not the champion. He's the number one contender.
What does it mean?
What does it mean? Oh,
he defended it.
Yeah. But again, what does it really mean?
Yeah.
If it was, then the John Jones wouldn't be the person you're going after. Then it wouldn't matter, right? It wouldn't matter if you're the real champion. It wouldn't matter who you fight. But why are they going after John Jones? Because John Jones is the real champion. So I just those things are just gimmicks, in my opinion, just to get interest in the fight, which I get. I get, and they need them. But I'm just saying, I am looking for accolades. If I'm looking for my fighter, I want him to be,
real champs.
Real champ.
Yeah.
So
I never asked you this. Are you a fan of Dustin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you think of his fight with Islam?
I was very shocked. The first round I was not, because that's what I thought was going to happen. But then the second round, when Dustin, went up to another level on his effort, and Islam followed suit and just decided to trade with him, which was not what we wanted ideally, but it's just something that Dustin created in the moment. I thought it was amazing what he did. I respected him even more. The first round went exactly the way I thought it was going to go. The second round went the way I didn't want it to go, but it still went our way, but it still was a tough fight. So I had big respect for him before the fight. I got bigger respect after the fight.
Could you say this was Islam's hardest fight?
Maybe, because with Volkanovski, the fifth round was the hardest fifth round he's ever had. So it's on that one there, on that last bit in that fifth round, he never took damage like he did in that round, never.
Yeah.
So, and then his one loss was a quick flash, so that was nothing. So overall, yeah, I'd have to say this was his toughest fight ever, because the other ones, they weren't like, the only one round here was good for him on with Dustin. The rest were tough.
Yeah. I mean, it was a crazy fight. I think Islam himself, he loves watching that fight. Like he actually enjoyed it. He enjoys watching that fight. I mean, it was a good fight. It was only one of these that's gonna go in the history books.
Yeah. It just shows what a great fighter Islam is too.
Yes,
what he did. I mean, that just shows why he's pound for pound number one.
Yes.
I'm not tooting my own horn because he's my guy. He's just that damn good.
He is. He proved to be the most well-rounded out of any current champ we have.
And listen, like I've heard Ali, his manager said that he's the most rounded fighter of all time, and I've been saying he's the most well-rounded fighter in the lightweight division. And the reason why I don't go all time, only because of Demetrius. I think Demetrius is unbelievable. So for me,
but what about John Jones?
John Jones is another unbelievable, well-rounded guy, but in the lightweight division, I can easily say Islam
for sure
is hands down. Sure. And I've been saying that a long time.
Yeah.
But to say over everybody, nah, there's two guys that are in contention for that title, and that is John Jones and that's Demetrius, and but having Islam in that category, it's unbelievable, because at the rate he's going, if he continues going, he could very well end up becoming the GOAT. It's a good possibility. It's a good possibility that could happen, and he would have earned it. So let's see. But it's a good problem to be in.
Yeah, I mean, if he goes to welterweight and becomes the champ there, why can't you say he's the GOAT? You definitely could.
You definitely have something to say about that if something like that was to ever happen. But in order for that to ever happen, Bilal would have to be not the champion, and Bilal would have to move up in middleweight, because let's say Bilal's next fight, he defends, he beats Jack, and then he wants to go up to the middleweight, then he goes up to middleweight, and et cetera, and maybe that gives us a possibility of going for the welterweight title. So, and other things could happen. Maybe things don't go his way, but which I hope that's not the case, but maybe they don't. And then maybe we get an opportunity there. I don't know. It's hard to say. We're talking hearsay, this and that, what we want, not in reality. Reality is what the UFC puts out there.
Hypothetically speaking, because we know that's for sure. I mean, Islam and Bilal are not going to face each other. That's not
going to happen.
Okay. So hypothetically speaking, would Islam be able to go to middleweight, or that's far-fetched?
It's not far-fetched, but he'd have to put on some muscle, in my opinion, to be able to be competitive with them out there. He can compete. He can compete, and he can beat a bunch of them. I don't know who he couldn't beat, but it would be difficult. I think he'd have to put on some muscle. He'd have to put on some muscle.
So he would have to do like the John Jones style, disappear for a year.
He'd have to, that's my opinion, and I could be 100% wrong, because he's a beast. This guy's so damn good everywhere. So the welterweight, I know for sure, 100%, he can be the champ.
Yes.
100%. Middleweight, but it would be tough. He'd have to put on some muscle. So I don't know. And I don't think that's his desire anyway. So.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think technically, because when you put on muscles, you're going to slow down.
Yeah.
And for a lightweight, they're so used to being fast, and suddenly they're slowing down, and things would be different.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
But from a technical standpoint, Yes, he can do it from a technical standpoint. But again, for me as his coach and seeing him, he needs to put on. I think he'd need to put on some muscle. I think so. For that weight. Because, we're talking 185. I've never seen him come into camp. Okay. Over maybe at the highest, maybe 180, maybe 181, maybe. Most of the time I see him, he's in below 180. I remember one time asking Habib, I go, Habib, how much when they come in the camp? How much you weigh? Habib goes, oh, coach, maybe 181, someone 180, somewhere there.
Habib or Islam?
Yeah, Habib. Okay. And I go, Islam, where are you? And Habib was like a pound or two below Habib, So that's my recollection of these guys when they fight, when they come in together.
Yeah.
They're right there. But it was always Habib was maybe 1-2 pounds over Islam almost every time. It wasn't the other way around. So Habib was always slightly the bigger one, So that's why I say what I say.
I mean, you could always see Islam off camp that he looks fit. He's never that type of fighter that would let go and becomes fat.
Yeah, no.
And then you can see okay, you can see him in the gym fatter and rolling around with fighters or sparring them. And you're like, I can see his potential or not. But he's always been a fit guy. So if he was a fat, with all due respect to Paddy Pimblett, but if Paddy goes to the gym right now when he's 200 pounds, his coach would be able to tell if he's going to be able to fight at heavier weights or not, because he can see from his movement. But we've never seen Islam with fat how slow he is. So we could never tell if he's going to be able to deal with the speed issue. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud.
Well, no, you're thinking out loud. You're thinking out correctly. But again, this is my opinion too. So I don't know how he would do it 185. I don't know. Can he beat a whole bunch of those guys? Yeah.
For sure.
Could he potentially beat them all? Yeah, he can potentially. But my thing is, where I would feel comfortable is if you put on some more muscle.
Yes.
Okay, because he's slightly under for that weight.
Yes.
Not for welterweight, but for middleweight, he's slightly under. If he was walking around 208 pounds, 210 pounds.
Like them, they come 220 like Dricus Duplessis. He's a huge guy.
Yeah. So then I would be like, okay. Yeah. So then I would be like, the Islam is in the house, but he's not. I've never seen him. I swear, in training camp, because that's the only time I see him. I never seen him more than maybe 181, if that. He might, if he is a little heavier, I've never seen it.
I've seen interviews of his and clips off camp when he's talking about food, and he said that I would never go too crazy. He's always disciplined when it comes to food. He's never gonna get too fat or
no.
This welterweight thing doesn't happen. And if he does it at middleweight, then for sure he's the GOAT. You can't say that he's not. If he goes from lightweight to middleweight and he becomes the champ, he's the GOAT. End of the story.
Yeah. I love Habib, and Habib is my boy, and I think he's the best of all time. But I'm sorry, but if you post something like that off, I'm like...
That's never happened before, someone to go 2 classes.
2 classes up.
Yeah.
I'd have to shut up.
Yeah.
But I'd be happy because it's still one of my guys.
Yeah.
But I'd have to shut up. Yeah.
No, everybody's going to celebrate. Yeah. No one's going to say, no, that's not.
No.
Because that's never done before.
Because look at the killers in that middleweight. You got Hamza, you got Dricus, you got all the killers in there.
Israel Adesanya, Sean Strickland.
I mean, those are some badass guys.
Yeah. And they're all heavy and they're all big.
They're all 210, 20, 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Izzy's probably what, 210 maybe.
Izzy.
He's just tall and lean.
Yeah. Speaking of Izzy, what's your thoughts now? He's hanging out with David Goggins. He went and he trained with David Goggins. What does that tell you?
That he wants to work on the mental, because the physical, it doesn't justify, what he's doing. It doesn't equate to being a better fighter going through that physical that they're doing, because it goes against what you're going to be doing in MMA, because it's going to go above and beyond what you need to, and then you have to have recovery time. So if he does that, let's say in training camp, and he's doing this getting close to fight camp, I think it's not a good look, because your body can't recover from pushing its limits like that. If you're in a war, do live or die situation, must, then that's probably a fantastic thing to do. It's a mental thing. So if he's looking to build his mind to get stronger, and that's the main purpose, then yeah, it's good. But my opinion is, if you're a champion like he is, why does he need that? Why does he need mental? He already has it. He knows what it takes to be a champion. He was a champion. He's one of the great ones. So for me, he doesn't need to be throwing up. He doesn't need to push his body to that extreme.
What
He
does he
just
need
needs
to
to
do?
get better. He just mentally believe in himself and go out there and do what he needs to do, and just get back on the race, and start off like what made you a champion. Remember what made you a champion. Remember what you did to become a champion. There's nothing you have to change. You just have to have that attitude that I'm going to be a champion again, and still believe in yourself. And his abilities, from what I see, haven't diminished at all. Now his direction as what he wants obviously has changed, because he's going to this extreme to get mentally stronger. So maybe he feels he needs to get that, but not the technique side. So my only question is, when do you stop? When do you stop working this type of killing your body? When do you stop? Do you stop during, after, like you're already in fight camp? What I'm saying is, you're in fight camp. Now, when do you stop? Are you going to continue to go through all the way to fight camp? As a coach, seeing if you beat your body like that where you're throwing up, I'm going to ask you to maybe think about it. And they make the decisions. I don't. But I would say, think about it. Do you really need the mental edge, like where you're killing your body like this? I'm going to say, I don't think so. Now, could I be wrong? Absolutely, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I would not advise someone to kill their body getting close to a fight.
I agree with you. And please correct me if I'm wrong for what I'm about to say. I noticed a mistake that the older fighters do, that they get defeated by a younger fighter, and then they go back and they try to work on their strength, work on their mental side of the equation. And it always fascinated me, because I can see what's missing. Because when you're older, you've got the strength, you've got the experience, you've got the knowledge. But one thing you're losing when you get older is speed. That's what happens. It's just the nature. You pass 35, you get closer to 35, you're strong, but your speed is dipping. Well, somebody in his 20s, his speed is up, but his strength and his experience is lower. So if I was, because I'm a similar age as them, and I would just definitely work on my speed more and less on my strength, because it's a speed matter right now. It's a speed problem. What do you think? I mean, at that age, it's just so obvious. It's your speed. You know what I mean? Like, they get clipped because they couldn't see it, because they're just a split second faster than them. Why do you think that there is not much of speed drills happening with the older fighters? Like I'm saying, I feel like that's missing in their training. You know what I mean? Like something to make sure that your speed is up to par. Like for example, like these tennis balls when they throw them, or the little lights to touch them at the right time, just to work on. Yes. I see it lacks. I see it always. As I said, they get to that and they just go on the mental. They go meet Goggins, and as you said, they go rough training. Like, you got it. You're not mentally weak. You're a strong individual, but you're just slower.
Well, those drills you're talking about, coordination drills,
Yeah.
I think, my personal opinion, I think those are great.
Okay.
I think those are great because that does work. It's like if I go like this, right, really fast, but I'm all over the place, right, versus precision, boom, every time I hit the same spot. That's fantastic. But if I'm all over the board, I'm not hitting the right spot, right? So those light you touch, that's actually really good pinpoint accuracy type thing. So I may not have the speed, but I have the right timing, the accuracy. That is money.
Yeah.
That is money. That's where I diminish my speed, but I increase my accuracy. So therefore, I'm not punching the big round ball. I'm punching the little one now. My speed's not there as like before, but I'm hitting right that spot.
Yes.
So that's where I would say, for those older fighters, those are the type of drills that I would be working on. More precision striking, not speed. The speed factor is, bro, it's diminishing. So you can get to try to keep it some, but if it's diminishing, it's diminished. We get old.
Yeah.
We can't beat that. There's nothing possible to beat that. You can help it, but you can't beat it.
Yeah, you're right. That's it.
You keep saying I'm right now. What? I'm just. Am I in the right place? There's no debate. I'm right. I'm right.
When I argue with you, you're like, come on, bro, please. When I am saying you're right, you're. What do you want, coach?
No. I'm just checking. Am I here? I'm right too much.
Great stuff. Guys, don't forget the 2 tickets for UFC July 26, Abu Dhabi. So it's 2 different winners. Each one will get a ticket to the fight and a night stay at the hotel. It's been given by #_travel from Instagram.
Yusuf. Right on, Yusuf. Thank you for being generous.
As I said, in order for
Fahim. I think it's Fahim and Yusuf.
Yusuf and Fahim.
They're from UK, from South Africa, lawyers.
Thank you guys for the gift.
Thanks, guys.
So, as I said, in order for you to win, you have to subscribe to YouTube and follow Instagram, follow #_travel, follow our Twitter, and send me a screenshot on our Instagram. And then we're gonna qualify. We're gonna do the spin thing to see who's gonna be the winner.
Who's fighting the card too? That we don't have a card.
The UFC didn't announce it.
They didn't announce it yet.
No,
they won't be
soon. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, coach. See you next time.
Thank you, Gorilla Energy.
Yes, Gorilla Energy. Shout out to Gorilla Energy.
Gorilla Energy. Also, hey, I forgot one big thing. Oh my God, why don't you remind me?
Tell me.
Okay, basically, I have a management company where we manage fighters, and I haven't really pushed it at all because the guy that does a lot of the work is Ron Kessler. He's my partner, and for those aspiring fighters that are looking for management and they want me to be part of that elite group that we're going to be, contact us.
How do they contact?
It's just to contact through my Instagram, AK Hub. At AK Hub is my Instagram.
So they can DM you.
Yeah, DM me, and then I can lead them from there. Stuff that they're interested in. If they have nowhere to go and they're interested in potentially me handling them on the mental. I'm great on the mental, and Ron connected really well now with every organization, so we can help a lot of you guys that need that guidance. And basically, yeah, you get us.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to talk about that in the next episode. Talk more about that. That's amazing. I mean, we should not have just dropped it right now. But we definitely...
We did. You forgot. Well, I forgot.
So next episode, we're going to talk about that in depth. But for the meantime, please, if you're an aspiring fighter, DM the coach or DM our page, and then I can lead you to the coach. And see you guys next time.
Good energy.